On September 11, 2001, 19 terrorists from the Islamic militant group Al-Qaeda flew 4 hijacked passenger jets into the World Trade Centers, the Pentagon, and a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing thousands. 10 years later, the mood at Ground Zero was somber, as dozens stared into the sky where the towers once stood. People of all different races and nationalities lost family and loved ones in the attacks, including an estimated 300 Muslims. In spite of this, a growing group of Americans blame all Muslims for the attacks.
I don't really care about the 300 Muslims, okay? Any more than they care about the other 2,600 Americans or 2,700 Americans, okay? All they cared about that they were dead. So I'm not going to have a bleeding heart because 300 Muslims got killed in the World Trade Center, okay? It's all over, continuous. They blow up a 500-year-old Buddhist statue. They plant their mosque. They're burning down London, burning down Paris. When does it stop? They move to the West, and then they want to change us into them.
1, 2, 1, sing. We're the raging grannies, and we're here to take a stand. 'Cause mongering fear and hatred does not make our country grand. When we hear Muslim people blame, we must rise and demand justice for Muslims now.
A few blocks away, hundreds gathered for a rally against post-9/11 Islamophobia.
Stop the war against Muslims. Stop the war against the people of the Middle East. Because this war on Muslims and Arabs is not only a local war where people are being arrested, where Muslims are being beat up by cops, going to an amusement park. It's a war all over the world. We know all too much about it. And we're here to rededicate ourselves to the struggle to end that war. Because no matter what else, we will never tolerate it. We will never tolerate it, and our bodies are on the line to show that.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be
Their message was simple: end the wars against Muslims in Iraq and Afghanistan, and stop the bigotry against Muslims in the U.S. This bigotry gained major press last year due to a proposal to build an Islamic community center just 2 blocks away from Ground Zero.
In Tower 2 of the World Trade Center, there was a Muslim prayer space. I don't know what the problem is about Part 51. Muslims used to pray in the World Trade Center in Tower 2. Over 354 Muslim immigrants was killed in the World Trade Center tragedy, along with 3,000 or more Americans. Do you know that?
Other protesters also shared this sentiment about a lack of understanding Muslims in American society.
At high levels of leadership, there is a lot of misunderstanding of Islam. A lot of our leaders don't know much about Islam and Muslims and our culture. And that's a problem, especially when forming policies and when organizing military missions in Islamic countries.
And Captain James Yee experienced these problems firsthand when he served as the Muslim chaplain at Guantanamo Bay.
Muslims held indefinitely without charge, torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, attacks on personal dignity, religious persecutions, sexual humiliation. This is what has gone on in Guantanamo Bay, and it was going on when I served there. And I stand here to speak out against this unjust treatment. And I urge everyone else to speak out against this unjust treatment. And when I served as a Muslim chaplain, I spoke out against this unjust treatment, and then I was thrown in prison. I was thrown in jail for 76 days in solitary confinement. I was subjected to sensory deprivation. I was threatened by my own government with the death penalty.
police officers are helping to trash the Constitution. Brother, you're the one that's hating. Isn't it your duty to preserve the Constitution, sir?
Right over here.
Preserve this thing, all right? Don't let them step on the thing.
I wasn't going to step on it. I respect your right to talk.
He can stand there if he wants. It's open. Excuse me. Guys. Excuse me. Step back.
After the rally was over, I decided to try and get the other side of the story. However, as soon as I got to the anti-Islam protest, the cops were dragging out a man with a sign saying "Stop the Hate." The man wasn't in trouble. Rather, they removed him for his own safety. I soon realized how right the cops were in removing him when I attempted to conduct an interview.
Answer the question, boy. You're a liberal.
What?
You're a New York liberal. It's all over. It's all the time. When does it stop? When does it stop there, newsboy? When does it stop?
Nothing but video, dude. Maker or taker? I guess you're a taker, huh? You get food stamps? Welfare? Yep.
That's why I'm here. It's called free speech.
Okay, so you're...
Okay, you don't agree with it, obviously, but that's too bad.
Well, I think it's fine that you're here. I don't mind.
Yeah, you just disagree with me. And you think it's okay to have an ever-increasing population that wants to kill you.
Do you think there's something inherently violent about Islam?
I think you'd have to be a fool not to notice the inherent violence in Israel, in Islam. Yes. Do you know anything there, newsboy? What do you know? Tell me what taqiyya is, newsboy. Do you know it, or you're just going to shoot the film? Have a good day there. Get that camera off of my face.
Whoa, stop.
Get your fucking camera off my face.
Needless to say, I got out of there as quickly as I could once things started getting physical. I can honestly say that I don't understand these people's hatred. How can Muslims all be terrorists when Al-Qaeda has killed more Muslims than Christians, Jews, and Hindus combined? Peaceful Muslims are the greatest victims of the 9/11 attacks.
For me personally, I sympathize with anyone who lost a friend or a loved one in 9/11. I had colleagues in the U.S. military who were killed on 9/11 in the Pentagon. A friend of mine who served with me in Bitburg, Germany, in the Air Defense Artillery as a U.S. Army officer. So I know what it's like to lose someone close, to lose a friend, someone who you personally know in those tragic attacks of 10 years ago.